Guys, it's Tom back with a brand new video. Today I'm going to be talking about when I interrailed around Europe, doing 9 countries in 9 weeks from the start of April 2023 until the start of June. So I'll go straight to the small screen and just talk about how much the Interrail pass costs, how easy it is to get from A to B, and talk about all the countries and the cities that I visited. You can see the tabs along the top. I visited a lot of places, reconnected with people who I'd met in Asia before, and went to football games, and just did a lot of stuff. Really good hostels. But before we get into the video, please click the like button if you do enjoy this video, and click that subscribe button. We're on 488 subscribers, so we're close to 500. So if we can hit 500 soon, that'd be very much appreciated. And I love the support on this channel since I've rebranded it as sort of like a travel-y channel. Has been amazing. I think my year in Australia video is about on 400 views now. It's flying through there. So thank you guys so much for that. But I will go into the small webcam now, and I will talk about firstly how much the Interrail pass costs and how easy it is to obtain, etc, etc. Oh my god, 2 of me. So I go on this website, Interrail EU. The website link is there, and this is the one I did 2 months in a row, so it's 620 euros. That works about 580 quid, something like that. I'm sure it's more expensive now. I'm sure I paid 500. As I said, this was going back a year and a quarter ago when I did it, so everything seems to be going up in the world. But that just means I can hop on any train and get from A to B. Like, I've got a tab here, Budapest to Prague. That was free. Obviously it's included in this, but it's a 12-hour train. So if you think about how expensive the trains are in the UK, you quickly get your money's worth, especially if you've got a set plan of, I want to do 7 countries, do a few cities in each. Then as long as there's a train going from country A to country B, or city A, city B, then it's nice and straightforward. You literally just hop on the train. Sometimes you do have to pay for a seat reservation, which you can see right here, but they cost like 4 or 5 euros again for the 12-hour journey. So dirt cheap, really easy. It's just on your phone. The conductor comes around, just scans a QR code. I was a bit skeptical at first. I thought that sounds a bit dodgy, but it is nice and straightforward. Obviously you can get a 15-day one if you did want to just go for 2 weeks, or a 22-day, 1 month, 3 months, and you've got these ones so you could travel 7 days within a month. But it does sort of put a bit of an obstacle of how you're going to get from A to B if you can only travel actually 7 days. So I will leave a link in the description to this website. It's nice and straightforward, and as I said, what's going on here I don't know. It's just a QR code on your phone. But we are going to talk about my first spot. I went to Budapest with the lads. I got there 4th of April, so that was pretty short weather at the moment. I'll show you photos again on my phone like I normally do when it switches over. So there's me on the river. You get the drift. But it was bloody cold. You know, it was, I'm going to say 8-9 degrees. Like, Hungary's not known for its warm weather, especially in April. It was a bit of a chilly one. So I did actually have a puffer jacket with me. Epic Games, no. I did have a puffer jacket with me. But when I got to the end of the countries and I was doing Italy, don't need one, France don't need one, Portugal don't need one, and getting to the warm countries, I was thinking, why have I brought this? But and then when I was up in the Alps in Austria, I really did need it. So I did only travel with a hand luggage, and I did that around Asia, but it was a shorts t-shirt. Whereas because I was going to be up in the Alps and in the colder countries, and then in the hotter ones, I'd have hoodies, and they take up so much space, and jeans, and yeah, puffer jackets, and it's like, it wasn't as well packed as I'd hoped that I'd done on my Asia trip. But we will talk about Budapest. As I said, I was there with the lads. We were there, had an Airbnb. I was there for 4 nights. They flew home. I went to Prague, but it is a beautiful city. Down this big river here, we got it was like a booze cruise. So it was all you can drink alcohol for like 30 quid, and we're on it for like 2-3 hours, and then everyone, it was like a big group of us, like 20-30 of us, all went out into this like big super club. Like, there's a nightlife tab here, and they are like, when you find them, they are like massive clubs. And then we did go to, like, I don't know which one it is, because there's a few of like the spa things. There are a few of them. These, I'm not sure which one we went to, but you do get drinks there, but they are an absolute rip-off. So pre-drink to your heart's content, because those are ridiculous prices. You think you're in Vegas with those prices. But Budapest was absolutely beautiful. I would definitely go back, maybe when it is a bit warmer weather, but the city itself, it's absolutely gorgeous. And we did a heck of a lot of walking, just to explore and see what we can find. And then in the evenings just go out and get absolutely go wasted. You know, it's just away on a lads weekend away. So as I said, I went from Budapest to Prague. So this was a 12-hour train, and this is when I was fully on my own. I did speak about Prague in my first video when I talked about what I'd done for the last 2 years, so I won't talk about it too long. I did go a bit more in depth in there, but Prague is an absolute beautiful city. I met a Ukrainian guy and a Japanese guy, and we just explored the city for the few days I was there. Absolutely beautiful. I was nursing a bad hangover, so I didn't go to any of the clubs there. There is a five floor club there. It's supposed to be some like big super club, but I didn't go because I was nursing hangover from hell. But it's absolutely a beautiful city, and the views at the cathedral, church, whatever it is, were stunning. So from Prague, I went to Austria. Never been to Austria before. And I started off in Innsbruck. Absolutely beautiful. Again, I did speak about this in the other video, so I'll just quickly go over it. You can get a cable car, which is what I did. I think it was like 30, 40 quid, right up into the Alps. And I bumped into my brother there. Like, my mum's like, oh, Archie's there, is he? Okay, and then we met up and had some drinks together. But a really, really nice city, and I'd definitely go back. If you're really into skiing or snowboarding, I'm sure most of you have been here before or have heard about it. I'm neither, because I'm like Bambi on ice. I'd fall and snap my wrist or something and then have to call my trip off. So I wanted to give it a go, but I know what I'd be like, and I'd just be absolutely terrible. But Innsbruck was absolutely beautiful. From Innsbruck, I went to Vienna. Really, really nice place. Although when I was there, it just rained and rained and rained. So the hostel, I think I was at Mad Monkey, Super Monkey, there was a monkey in the title anyway. Really, really nice. Met 2 Aussies and we were just drinking there, but it didn't stop raining for 4 days. So I explored the city and got absolutely drenched. But it's a really, really cool place, and I'd definitely go back when the weather is better, because yeah, it was not on our side. It really wasn't. Went to Salzburg, the home of Patson Daka. No, not a fan. I was there for 3 nights because the train from Salzburg to Innsbruck was sold out. So I was actually there for 4 nights. Sorry, it should have been 3. I was there for 4 nights. Shocking. Boring. I should have gone for an afternoon. It looks really nice, but there's not a whole lot to do. So I should have probably gone for an afternoon. Walk around these gardens. But the hostel was really good. Met an American girl called Julia, and I still speak to her now. I met quite a few people in this hostel that I was at, and it was really nice, you know. But as I said, I was just there a little bit too long. The weather was good though. I actually could wear shorts and t-shirt there. The weather was actually on our side, but there's just not a whole lot to do in Salzburg, unfortunately. From Salzburg, I went to Trento, so now we're in Italy, and I literally just called in here just to break up the journey, because I didn't mind doing long journeys. Like I traveled around Asia, it was like a 10-hour bus. America, it was a 10, 11-hour bus. That was normal, but I thought on the train, 10 hours my limit. You know, I could save some money and go 18 hours, but I thought, no. Because obviously you need to do some train changes on the trains as well, so you're just stuck at some train station. So I think Innsbruck to Trento was about 8 or 9 hours, something like that. I'll show you a photo from Trento when I was up. Oh my god, when I was up in the Alps. I don't know if they class it as the Alps, but it looks really cool. So I got a cable car up here as well. Oh, come on, come on. Oh, look at that. What a guy. Beautiful views, though. Absolutely stunning views. And I'll quickly show you. Sorry, I skipped over Innsbruck. But I will quickly show you a video, if it's going to load, of the top of Innsbruck, which was just absolutely bloody gorgeous. Where is it? Which one is it? This one. Come on. You know, with Apple, you know, even when you film it on the phone, it always takes ages to load, because I've got an old iPhone. Play. So that is like absolutely glorious. I mean, it's really out of focus then, but you get the drift. It was absolutely glorious, and what a guy. Look, there's my big coat that I just regret bringing after a little bit, because it just got in the way. It got in the way, but I did need it there, because Innsbruck's not a warm place, being up in all that snow. But yeah, back to Trento. Nothing much there. A lot of kebab shops, and yeah, I got that little cable car up, so I saw that nice viewpoint. I just had my AirPods in, listened to the fellas podcast, and just walked and walked and walked and walked. Literally, just did a lot of walking, just exploring, see what I find. The hostel in Trento wasn't great. It wasn't really a hostel. It felt more like a uni dorm. It was. People were quite ignorant. They just put their AirPods in and just not speak. And you know, when you're a solo traveller, you want to meet people. That's literally the point. So if your people in the dorm aren't really talkative or can't speak English or just want to keep themselves to themselves, it's sort of just one of those where you will leave it as a rest stop, regain a bit of social battery, get your sleep up, and then just go on again. So from Trento, I went to Lake Garda, which is where I actually had my birthday. Absolutely beautiful, really, really nice. I wanted to visit here for years, so actually to do it on my birthday was really cool. And again, my brother actually met me here, so he was interrailing around Europe, but he just started off in a different place. So I started in Budapest, he started in Amsterdam. So there's a few points where we crossed over: Innsbruck, Lake Garda, and Venice being the three that that we did bump into each other again. But here's a photo of me on the lake on my birthday in a little cheeky kayak. That was moments before I fell in, because I told you, Bambi on ice, he struck again, but absolutely amazing. I think I mentioned in my other video, someone who worked there was an Australian, and then she moved to Melbourne, and then she came to my trivia nights when I was in Melbourne, so I caught back up with her. But Lake Garda, I'd go back in a heartbeat. There was so much to do. Went to Gardaland, which is a theme park, and I think I was there for like 6 nights. I wanted somewhere just to relax for my birthday, and it's beautiful, gorgeous weather, and there's just so much to do. We hired a boat. I think there was I'll show you this photo where there was like 6 of us all just hired this boat, and said, I don't even know any of them from here. Come on. But there's us on the lake. Just a really cool place. Really cheap as well. And the food was absolutely amazing. Like, really, really good. So from Lake Garda, I got the train to Venice. Really, really cool. But unfortunately, when we were there, it basically didn't stop raining. And Venice is basically the most outdoorsy city in the world, you know, because obviously it's all floating. You're all on these canals. So there's not really much places to take shelter. The hostel I had there wasn't great. It was called Generator Hostel. Did meet an English girl called Michaela, and we did a bit of travelling around Italy together. Really, really nice. But as I said, the weather just wasn't on our side. So it's unfortunate. We I don't actually think I had any beers here. We just walked around. You also have to get, so like these are little like taxis. So you have to get like a pass to get on and off. But they're like 80, I think I paid like 70 or 80 euros for like 3 days. I thought, well, we're going to have to pay it because I'm not a great swimmer. You know, I'm not going to swim across, but I just felt like it wasn't great. The food was not it. The food generally was just shite. Really nice viewpoints, but the food was just really let it down. And, you know, when it floods, which you can see a tab here, it doesn't look great. So thankfully it didn't get quite bad where it was flooding, but you're just screwed, you know. It's a sinking city anyway. But it was really cool to say that I have been to Venice. From Venice, I did go to Florence. I was just there for 1 night. Michaela was going there, so I went there with her. Really, really cool city. And we did this really good viewpoint. Again, sorry, I know I'm going back to my phone, but I need to show proof that I was there. No, I'm joking. But I got this really cool photo just as the sunset. Come on. I mean, the sun looks better on here, but, you know, this webcam doesn't want to pick that up. But really, really cool. And the good thing is, Pisa's basically on its doorstep. It's like a 20-minute train. So I think one of the days we literally went to Pisa for the day. Really, really cool. Obviously saw the Leaning Tower there and just had a little walk around. Didn't do the cringe pose where you try to hold it up because I'd have been a mile off. But it's a really, really cool place. I think we went there for lunch, had some beers and stuff. And again, thankfully, the weather was on our side, you know. There's some of these where you don't expect Budapest for the good weather, or Austria, or Germany, but Germany was actually great weather. So it was like half the photos I've got my coat on, half of them I'm in a t-shirt and shorts. I thought, I can't have every photo in this bloody puffer jacket. I really can't. So from Pisa, I got the train to Cologne, and I met Micah, who's a guy who I met in Bangkok, and we went to a Cologne football game. I think you've already seen this photo, but that is me with the Cologne Ultras when they beat Hertha Berlin. Really, really cool place Cologne is. Again, a real beautiful city. So much to see, and we just did a lot of exploration. Good beers there as well. A really, really cool place, and to see Cologne beat Hertha Berlin 5-2 was a really, really cool experience as well. I actually started in Munich, but I was there for an afternoon, so I've not even spoke about that. And then I also did Berlin, which I also went to a Hertha Berlin game there as well versus Stuttgart. So I accidentally saw Hertha Berlin twice in 6 days. I feel like some die-hard fan. It was just the football game that was on at the time. But a really, really cool place. Thankfully, the weather was good there, and I stayed in a hostel and met two Americans, Griffin and Henry, and we just hung around, did some exploring together, and it's a really, really cool city. Good nightlife as well. Techno. If you like techno music, Berlin's your place. And there's just so much to see during the day. You've obviously got the Berlin Wall as well. And you just walk about. Here we go, down here. You just walk about and see what you can find, really. So it's a really cool place. And thankfully, the weather, again, was on our side. So from Berlin, Henry and Griffin actually went to Amsterdam. And then I just met them there like a day later. But Amsterdam, you know, I thought, oh, it'd be great. You know, so many people talk about it. But they didn't talk about how bloody expensive it is. It's just a bit of a touristy trap, and I didn't go to any of the coffee shops either, so I know it's a little bit wasted on me. We did hire the bikes and cycle around, and that was good. And we're in the hostel, I can't remember what it's called, but it's quite a cool hostel really near the train station. But yeah, it's just a bit expensive. I remember buying 2 rum and cokes and it was €22. I thought, come on, you're having our pants down with those prices. And then at night you've got the red light district, but there's just not a whole lot to do. I was a bit disappointed really in Amsterdam. Maybe I need to go back for a second time and see if it's any better the second time. From Amsterdam I went to Utrecht, and I met up with 2 people who I actually met in Vietnam, and we went down the canal, did kayaking down there. And again, the hostel wasn't great, but because I knew people there already, it wasn't too annoying really. And there's a lot of nice cafes, restaurants, and it's really nice at night. This all lights up, so it's a really cool place to go. And the beers are half the price. You're literally 30 minutes away from Amsterdam. Instead of paying like €10 for a pint, you're paying 4 or 5. So way better, less touristy. And you know, I've not heard enough people go on about Utrecht, but it's absolutely glorious. Just like Rotterdam. Rotterdam is the place I went to next. I met an Australian girl called Portsea in the hostel. Again, this hostel was called Gorilla, Monkey, something like that. Anyway, it was really good. Saw these, which are these cube houses, which guess how much they cost to live in? They cost £50,000. I thought, what? Sorry, what? They are very strange. So I just went and looked around them. Like, I think there's a few that anyone could just sort of walk in, but they're all like, yeah, all like in a corner like this. And it's strange, but I personally wouldn't buy one for that amount of money. But again, Rotterdam's a really cool place. I was there for a few nights, and just a lot of rivers and restaurants and cafes, and the hostel was really cool there, and it was nice and social, which is always what you want to see. And then from Rotterdam I went to Den Bosch and met up with Susie, who is a Dutch girl who I met in Vietnam. Met her in Thailand, sorry, and I was there for, how long was I there for? Like 3 days. I stayed with her and her family, and then during the day we just went out cycling and just explored the city really. She was like a bit out of Den Bosch, like city centre. She was like a 10-minute drive, so we're just out in the countryside. And we had these like old bikes that she had, and we were just out cycling. There's me cycling through these countrysides, and honestly it was absolutely beautiful. Again, thankfully the weather was on our side. Took our dog for a walk as well. Look, what a distinguished gentleman over the little canals. Really, really cool place. Like, the views were just absolutely beautiful. Like, top. Here's a photo from when I was in Rotterdam. I got a nice photo of the sunset. I bought that shirt in Venice, and I thought there's the first time to wear it. You know, when you're in Europe, the thing is to just buy a bottle of wine and chase sunsets. I happened to see like 6 in a row. Just bottle of wine, anyone from the hostel, let's go and go find the sunset, because most of the time, now you're in the hotter countries, the sunset is going to be bloody gorgeous. So that's what we did. And again, Den Bosch didn't disappoint with the great sunsets and just good vibes. You know, Dutch people are so friendly. Their English is amazing. Like, I know the slightest bit of Dutch, like slightly, doesn't help me in a conversation at all. I know squirrel is acorn. What else do I know? Ismad Bootwagen means I like driving a boat. Definitely pronounce that wrong if anyone Dutch is watching this. And a few other really pointless quotes. But it was quite good because I was picking up with so much different lingo, because I was with Spanish people, with French people, with German people. And I'd just go, what's this word in German or Dutch or whatever? And for some reason, half the time I accidentally remember it. So I was accidentally picking up like some of this lingo quite easily, thankfully. Again, really not useful stuff. If I had to think about it, I'm sure I could remember a bit more, but their English, Dutch people's English, is so good that you really didn't have to worry about a language barrier like you probably would in a Thailand or a Vietnam or maybe in the Austrian Alps or something. But no, their English was absolutely amazing. And we are literally, Den Bosch is right on the border between Netherlands and Belgium. So Susie actually drove me and met back up with Portsea. And she drove us to Antwerp, so Belgium. So there's another city ticked off and another country ticked off. And we were there for probably like 6 or 7 hours just exploring. A real expensive city. You know, Belgium's not cheap. Really not cheap. I didn't even jump on the Belgian beers either. It's just like a croissant or just lunch or anything was really expensive. But a really, really cool place. Again, we were only there for the afternoon, so I can't judge Belgium as a country as a whole or Antwerp really. Obviously, I wasn't in a hostel either, but it's really cool. And then, yeah, as I say, another little city ticked off. It's beautiful. Like, you can see some of this architecture. Like, I'm not even an architecture buff or anything, but really, really nice. I mean, this photo's not focusing because why would it? There we go. But a really, really cool city. And just to say I went to Belgium for the day sounds quite a cool thing to do. So me and Portsea actually got a really last minute flight to Marseille. So I was still at Susie's in Den Bosch, and then I messaged Portsea like, oh, I might be flying to Marseille tomorrow. Should we hop on Skyscanner and see if we can get a flight? And then within an hour we booked a flight, and I think it was for like 6 hours time. So it's proper spontaneous. Let's go fly to France for a bit. So we were in Marseille, had an Airbnb there, so I don't know what the hostels were like, but beautiful. I thought I wasn't a fan of France, but it turns out I went to Paris when I was younger, really not a fan of Paris. So it turns out it was Paris I wasn't a fan of, not France, the country itself. But Marseille was absolutely glorious. Like, this, apparently it's the oldest city in France, didn't know that. I remember walking down here, there's just so much colour and just so much going on. Really, really cool place. This video that I'm going to show you is literally this exact place. I'll put it on the big screen. Look, that's exactly what's on the screen already. Again, why would it focus? Why would it focus? Got my phone. Look at that. It looks like you need to get 3D glasses to watch that. But again, a really cool place. And look at this sunset across across the ocean. Look at that. Oh, beautiful. Absolutely bloody gorgeous. So we were there for like 4 nights. Really, really cool place, Marseille is. Really, just a lot going on. A lot of nice viewpoints. We hiked. It might not have been this one, but we did hike up quite high, and we got a nice view of the city. And as I said, I've just showed you this bit, but it's really, really cool place. And look at the colour of the ocean. You know, I just love this blue colour over here. It's just glorious. You know, if we go to Skegness and we got dog shit brown and then they've got this, I thought it's just not fair, is it? Really is not fair. So from Marseille we went to this place called Saint-Semer. Not pronounce it right. Honestly, when I tell French people I went to this place, they have to say it for me because I don't have this French twang. I can't do it. I really can't do it. But really, really cool place. We had an Airbnb here as well, and not much there. Like, there was no taxis, so where we was a 45-minute drive from... No, 45-minute walk, sorry, from the train station. So we're going up and down these cliffs. Me and my puffer jacket, because I got nowhere to put it, in like 30 degrees. So apart from the walk to the Airbnb, it was a beautiful place. Again, we got this Airbnb dirt cheap. It was like a minute from the beach. So close. And you've got these really nice views. And then we went for a walk. Is it going to show it? Through all these trees, but I'm hoping it's going to show it somewhere. Anyway, you can walk through all these. It's like a little bit of a forest, and I've got some cool photos. I'll put it on the big screen to show you. And just honestly, really do rate France. Really do. Look at the colour of that bloody ocean. It's glorious. And then there we go. Got a little Harry Potter book in hand. I was reading Harry Potter the whole time. Like, I never used to read before I got into travelling, but I'm like, I'm going to be spontaneous. I started learning Spanish. I got to day 220 on Duolingo. I thought, this is useless. But I was doing Duolingo every day at this point. I was reading Harry Potter. I've now obviously read them all, but I was just trying to be spontaneous and trying to be productive while travelling, of reading, learning another language, and just just really, really good actually. I really enjoyed it. But yeah, Saint-Cyr, again, pronounce it so blatantly wrong. Really cool place. And I said a lot of nice hikes round through these forests. And I mean, I get the feeling everyone who lives here has a bit of money. You know, my dream is to have like a boat. You know, just park it up in Greece or France or Italy or whatever, and just nothing major, nothing that screams like you of money, but just imagine just hopping off in one of these little boats and just disappearing whenever you wanted to. Just glorious. Like, what a vibe. What an absolute vibe. And then from here I got the train back to Marseille, and then flew from Marseille, and then met the lads in Albufeira and had a bit of a lads holiday in Albufeira in Portugal. So there was another country ticked off. We were there for like 4 nights, I think. We did kayaking in the ocean, which they'd never done, so I thought, go on then, we'll give that a go. And the nightlife's quite good. There was a lot of bars that were booming. It was quite good. Yeah, start of June, so it wasn't quite like the party season, but the beaches there were stunning. We had a lot of beach days and a lot of walking around. We saw this like Benagil Caves, which is quite like world famous. You've got the hole in the roof of the caves, but really, really cool place. And it was a nice place to end off the trip in pure sun. So again, the puffer jacket from, I'd say, Austria onwards was just a waste of time. Like, why have I got it? It was just a burden. I said I only had hand luggage, so I couldn't really stuff it in my suitcase. So it was one of those I just sort of had to carry it around when I got to the warmer countries. But Albufeira, I've been Portugal before, so I sort of knew what to expect. But it was a really, really cool place, and thankfully the weather was on its side. You know, most of these, they were like Germany weather behaved, and it was only Venice weather was just shocking. But it's one of those, really. It's a shame when you're in somewhere for only 3 or 4 nights and it's raining for 2 or 3. It's like, well, you either don't see the city or just see it and you're just soaking wet through the whole time. But really, really cool place, Albufeira. And yeah, that was my Interrailing journey. I know I skipped through a lot of information there because you can see these tabs. I did so many different countries, so many different cities. I think it was 9 countries in 9 weeks that I couldn't spend 10 minutes talking about each and every country. I'd definitely go back to Italy, 100%. Lake Garda, you have my heart. Absolutely go back to Italy. And France, I'd definitely go back to France as well. Greece is still my favourite country in Europe. Like, Greece is just absolutely stunning. I did that, like, when I did Greece, Croatia and Montenegro. That was like 6 months before all of this Interrailing. So I will go back to Greece again soon, but I've got so much trips planned. Even now I'm working full time. Like, I go to Krakow in 2 weeks. I go to Albania middle of November. I've got a flight from Luton Airport to Albania, £14. I can't even get from Leicester to my house for that in an Uber. £14 flight. So there we go. Got 4 nights in Krakow, 4 nights in Albania, and then I'm off to Thailand for Christmas and New Year's from the 20th of December to the 3rd of January. So I've still got some trips lined up, but I need to, next year, long weekend to Greece, long weekend to Italy, long weekend to France, and just tick off these because I said I met so many great people that I'm still in contact now. So it would be cool if we could do a trip together or meet up in another country or whatever, because I just love travelling, just love meeting new people. You can probably tell from these videos, I'm such a people person. I just chat a load of waffle. And, you know, I just love travelling. So, you know, I wish I could do it all again. You know, I was travelling for 2.25 years. And unfortunately, money's not unlimited. You know, you get to the point where you either want to settle down or you need to, or money's just low. And it's like, yeah, I feel like I've just reached that, but I'm glad that I can still do these long weekends away and 2 weeks in Thailand, so I can go back to sitting in a hammock, drinking beers, just meeting new people, and it's just the vibe, you know. There's nothing better when you've got this good weather like you'd get in Portugal, Italy, France, Netherlands, or whatever. It's just like, you know, in no rush. You can just sit on a beach, just meet new people. It's just a vibe. It really is an absolute vibe. But thank you guys so much for watching. Then put it in the comments down below and I will answer it. But as I said, it's with the Interrail pass. I'll leave this link in the description. And as I said, it's so easy. It's so easy to do. And just hop on trains. There was a few times I caught flights, but most of the time it was trains because I paid for this pass. I might as well use it. Obviously, I didn't do Spain on this trip because I'd already been to Spain quite a few times. But there's so many countries, you know. I could have gone all the way to Poland. I could have gone Slovenia, Slovakia. It just depends what you want to do your Interrail like travel route and how much time you've got really. But hopefully you guys did enjoy this. If you did, then please click that like button and click that subscribe button. As I say, we're nearly on 500 subscribers, and I'll leave a link in the description down below for the past 3 videos since I sort of revamped this for a travel channel. But thank you guys for watching.